Hello and welcome to this week's edition of WCS Sports Connection. I'm your co-host Jeremy Qualls, and with me as always my co-host Tate Elvis Mathews. Tate, it is Spring Fling 2016 starting this week. We have an unbelievable slate of athletes, teams competing in this. Get this, there are 5 events. We've got 4 in there. Softball, the only one that eluded us this year, only by 1 run up there with Ravenwood getting beat by Clarksville. However, let's talk about what's happened thus far in the Spring Fling. Event number 1 is the state AAA pentathlon on the girls' side. Amber Tanner is the state champion this year, wins the pentathlon, won by 1 point, 3,444 points to 3,443. Came down to the last event, which is the 800 meters, Tate, and she won it by 12 seconds.
Wasn't even close in the 800 meters, but 1 point. That's amazing. Congratulations to her. Beat a young lady out of Whitehaven who was, obviously a top-notch competitor too. So congratulations to her. My homework assignment for next week, I'm going to find out if there's ever been a tie in the pentathlon, because if not, then that would mean this is the closest race ever. Congratulations to her. Won the WILLCOs earlier in the week. She's had a big past 7 days.
Amber Tanner is going to Georgia, and you'll see her in the SEC track state finals, conference finals. I guarantee it on ESPN. I just watched the finals this past week. Next year, I hope to see her there participating in that. Like you said, she did win the WILLCO for the female track athlete, and I was also up for Female Athlete of the Year. But you're talking about that, your homework, doing that. I'd be very curious, but I want to give you another assignment right now. How many events are in the pentathlon?
5.
Excellent. I just want to check you there. Nate Johnson, the second event of the Spring Fling is the decathlon. How many events are in those?
DAs.
Okay. So currently right now he is in 4th place after day 1, the first 5 events. Unfortunately, as we were talking off air, the triple jump didn't have his best day, ended up getting 2nd place points there. He had 2 fouls on the 3 attempts. He did win discus, but the pole vault, probably not his strong suit. He finished towards the bottom half, and in the distance runs, not so well either. But long jump still up to go, which he'll probably be favored to win. Going to have to get some of those points. The 100 meter, he finishes 3rd, which is interesting. He had 11-second 100 meter dash there. 2 guys above him had a 10-second or below. So I'm curious about what happened there. Maybe he got off to a bad start off the blocks, whatever. In the 100 meter that if you don't come out of the blocks hot, that you could struggle catching up.
Especially if those other 2 guys are fast. And on the pole vault, I can't imagine that he spends a whole lot of time.
Where did you finish in the state decathlon on the pole vault?
I didn't even make it out of study hall on that. I don't think I was. A funny track story, I ran in 2 meets Monday. Thought I did really well. Monday I was sitting in class and my high school coach walked by me and said, "Hey, by the way, you need to report to weights today. You're no longer running track." And that was the end of the discussion.
Well, you did well. You ran hard and you always turned left. That's the only thing you can do.
Well, I started in the 8th lane, and so I came around that curve, man, and I thought, I got this down, bro. And then it started to straighten out a little bit, and it was like the Road Runner and Wile E. Coyote. They all just started passing me.
Well, we'll get more to track and field. There's plenty to talk about there, but let's start with baseball right now. What a big sectional tournament we had for WCS Sports Conference in baseball. We get 2 in the state tournament. That's the most we could get on the Big 6 level. Summit 33-5 right now beats Ravenwood 7-4 in the Region 6 AAA championship game. That is the 5th time that those guys have squared off, maybe even the 6th.
I think it was the
5th. 5th time. That put Ravenwood on the road in the sectional, going to having to go to Rossview to play, but Summit got to host by winning the regional championship. They hosted the Green Wave of Gallatin, where Chris McElvain was on the money. 2 hits, shutout, beat the Green Wave 10-0.
Yep, and dominating performance. That's all you can say about it. It was dominating, and as we know, Gallatin coming out of the Sumner County, Wilson County region, there's some really good baseball in there. Mount Juliet's in there. Hendersonville's in there. Hendersonville's in the top 10 in AAA all year long. So that goes to show just how well Summit's playing right now. That's one of the better. I personally think our district conference is the best baseball conference in the state, but that's one of them. They a lot of people could argue for them, and I mean 10-0
Wasn't even close. I was at the game.
That's about 49-0 in football. I mean, that's a tail whipping.
It looked like Major's 8U game. I mean, it was over after 3. Let's line them up. Good luck. But
and we're down to almost we're at the round before the best of the best, and I think sometimes we lose sight of the fact this kid can't even drive yet.
I mean, he
can't even drive a car.
That's what's amazing to me when you sit there and think of it. Okay, first off, he's built like like a grown man. I mean, you fail to realize why he's up on the mound that you're thinking he's ready to go to Vanderbilt next year. This kid is 15 years old and works very fast on the mound. I mean, maybe gets the ball back, doesn't even work from the stretch. Boom, he's back, throwing it, gets it back, throwing it. So you have to be on your toes, ready to go. He's throwing mid-80s somewhere. Sometimes they say he's touching 90, maybe even over 90 a little bit. Absolutely just mowing them down. Can't even get on base. Not only that, you take away the fact, too, that he's a great defender when he plays shortstop as well. Now, obviously, when he gets to the college ranks and plays at Vanderbilt, he won't have to worry about hitting, nor will he have to worry about shortstop.
He'll be playing every few days.
And fun to watch. Congratulations to Old Sparty. First ever state tournament berth for Summit High School.
Yep, it's great. Coach Kirby's been there before, as we mentioned, both as a player and as head coach at Ravenwood, so congratulations to him. I know JD takes most of the credit, which is probably well-deserved, but congratulations to them. He's got a great staff, and Zach Hudson and Jason Pope and JD and Curb, so congratulations to them. They really do, a lot of people preach family and team and all that. They really are, so it's neat to see.
Glad you mentioned that. We were discussing the cultures of our schools, in the Big Six alone. Obviously, there are 6 different cultures that you talk about. When you go in each building, they all have a different feel, and there's nothing right or wrong with that. But the Summit family, Old Sparty, something from nothing, okay? You take that group of individuals, you go to the sub-state game, I'm there, huge crowd, probably 7 to 8 bag chairs deep, no lie, around all the way around. And after the game's over, you've got the football head coach, you've got the football staff, you've got the boys and girls basketball coach, you've got all those athletic coaches there. And they're in the, they go out on there, they're first congratulate, they're getting pictures together with the baseball team, with the baseball staff, the family. I absolutely love it. Chad is also the athletic director there. He is to be commended on what he's doing. I can't believe I'm saying this on air because I know he's going to see this. Sarah Lamb, obviously Charles Farmer laid that foundation there, but Summit has something very unique that they have all bought into. They have pushed away pride. They've pushed away egos. They've pushed away what the past has done. They all sell out whatever the season is.
Well, and I tell you, I think a big part of it is you have an athletic director who's the head baseball coach who will readily tell you, it's important for football to be good. Now we've been a lot of places where that's not the case, and he does. He wants football. He understands football needs to be good, has to be good, and the other sports. And he's a guy that sometimes maybe even to the detriment of the baseball team, he makes sure that the other sports have what they need. And so that's what you said. That's leadership, and he's done a good job with that. And so when you're the football coach and you see that, it makes it a lot easier to go root for the baseball coach and the baseball team when he's there rooting for you as well. So good job by him on the athletic director piece as well.
Well, he does a good job, and and he even preaches it all the way down to his kids. I mean, when we talk about the WILLCOs, he had a hard time. It's not the fact that Will Dalton is not deserving of the award, which he is very much so, but he has a hard time because he doesn't want anybody to. He doesn't want his team to feel like, hey, I'm putting you up. I'm
right.
singling you out because we're all in this together. We lose together, we win together. But all that is paid off. And I think that Summit, and I've said this numerous times, Summit is on the verge of being special right now, all the way across the board athletically. I think this gives them the kickstart, the jump that they need going into this next year, because we both have commented publicly, openly, numerous times that Brian Coleman and the Summit Spartan football team will be in the playoffs. I think this is that jump start that they needed. Kerry and Josh Goodwin, I mean, this thing is fixing to be on the verge of special.
Yep, I would think so. And then, of course, wrestling's had a lot of success already. So
yeah, absolutely.
Fun to watch.
Yep. Well, let's talk about Mr. May himself. Teddy Craig, Ravenwood, 22-15, came in as the number 6 seed in district play. Think about that now.
Yep.
Came in as number 6 seed, gets themselves into the sectional game, had to travel to Rossview, and they pulled off the upset. I wouldn't call it an upset, but pulled off. Anytime you have to go there, it would probably be considered an upset. 4-3, play Stewart's Creek in the opening round of the state tournament. What do you think about the chances of Ravenwood Raptors?
Boy, I think they got a great draw. First of all, congratulations on getting there. And it just goes to show, man, there's a culture in that baseball program of winning. And pretty neat to watch him. You know, you talked to him and I talked to him, and it wasn't false bravado. He felt confident going in to the tournament, even though they were the 6th seed. And you know, it's just neat to see. You really do. Sometimes you have to learn how to win, and those guys have learned how to win. They believed. Obviously, great job by Coach Craig keeping them confident and believing. But I don't think there was any doubt in their mind that when they got in the bus to go up to Rossview that they were going to win that game and go back to the state tournament, 3rd year in a row. So that's a big, big deal. I'm sure maybe someone has done it here before, but maybe not. We need to check in that too. I don't know if we've ever had a team go 3 years in a row to the state tournament. I know there's not many if we have.
Forget that. 3 years in a row. We're fixing to have an all WCS Sports Conference final.
That'd be pretty neat.
Ravenwood Summit round 6 for it all.
And back to your original question, I think they got a great draw. Now, you know, obviously Stewart's Creek's a really good baseball team if they're there. But I think that's a good draw. I think that's a game they can win.
So let's talk about the drawings right now. I'm going to get on my stump for just a moment. TWCA comes out on Sunday after the sectionals on Saturday with their drawings and their brackets and whatnot. And there's 2 sites that they're hosting this tournament at. Obviously, it's in Murfreesboro, Siegel being one host site, and Oakland being the other host site. So, you know, they go through the drawing process. Summit comes out, and they have to play Siegel in the opening round. Now, we've already seen this, 2 weeks ago, last game of the regular season going to district tournament. Siegel, Summit played, Summit won. Here's the problem that I have with the TWCA. They get the drawing out, and Siegel versus Summit at Siegel. Are you kidding me? We've got 2 facilities. We've got to be proactive. It doesn't take a PhD, Will Hester, to figure out that if Siegel's in the tournament, we're automatically going to draw wherever Siegel draws. They're going to have to play at Oakland.
Right.
We have to have a neutral site. It goes back to, in the fall, if you remember, Tate, Brentwood volleyball, Siegel volleyball, number 1, 2 in the state all year long. The tournament has got multiple venues, Siegel being one of them. And Brentwood plays Siegel in the state tournament, and they play at Siegel. The word to me was from the association that there's no such thing as a home court advantage in volleyball. Well, you know what time that volleyball game was held at, Tate? 1 o'clock. You know what they did? You know what Siegel High School did at 1 o'clock? They dismissed
Let out
classes.
school.
And there was probably
if you wanted to go to the game,
1,500, if not more, students at that game. I mean, as a former basketball coach, I would have loved to have that atmosphere as a basketball coach. So, really, I mean, this is what we're doing. We're saying that there's no such thing, and I guarantee it. I'm awaiting a response still. I sent an email about this particular scenario, still waiting on the email, and probably will not receive one from the association. That the fact is, well, there's not a home field advantage in baseball either. Well, I completely 100% disagree, because I think Saturday was an example of that at Summit.
Well, and I think if you ask any baseball coach around the state, they'll tell you there is a home field advantage. And so I don't know what the answer is. You know, I would hope that there's a good one, but you know, from the outside looking in right now, I just don't. The Ravenwood Stewart's Creek game is at 4 o'clock as well, correct?
Correct.
So
why wouldn't you just flip the venues?
You would think it would be easy to flip it, but I would hope there's a good explanation. My guess is it's probably not one that makes sense.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, and what they don't understand is that they have put Chad Kirby in a situation that probably makes him mad, and it doesn't take a whole lot to make him mad. And that's going to give fire in their bellies. It really will.
Yeah.
And you know what? And at this point in time and juncture, they're not going to change anything. You know that going in. We can complain all we want, but it just doesn't make valid sense to me at all. An association that's holding the state championships do not proactively think, okay, well, Siegel's in this tournament, so anytime Siegel gets picked, they're going to have to play at the Oakland site all the way throughout the tournament.
Right.
Until the championship game, which is at MTSU Baseball Stadium.
Then you have no problem.
No problem. Neutral sites.
I agree. You know, like I said, I don't know, so I don't. But my guess is it's like you said, it's already been set up. Let's just go with it. But
Well,
hey, like you said, Coach Kirby will use it for the right. At the end of the day, you still got to go out there and throw strikes and get runs. But you're right. It seems like it doesn't make sense, but I guess it is what it is.
On Sunday morning, phones blowing up, texts coming through. Have you seen the draws? Have you seen the draws? And I thought, and they're like, I can't believe this happened. I said, well, the first time this happened, which was in the fall, this is what happened and followed. 11th state championship, third in a row. So maybe this will happen for us, happen for Old Sparty. We'll see what happens. Soccer. On the soccer level, we had two teams from WCS Sports Conference left going into region play, into the championship game. Ravenwood right now, kind of mimicking their baseball team. They're on fire right now, going playing against Franklin, and obviously an underdog in that game, and they beat Franklin in the championship game 2-1 to put the Rebels on the road in the sectionals.
Yeah, and as we know after the sectional games, that ended up being a big deal. I firmly believe had Franklin been at home for the sectional game, they'd probably be playing in Murfreesboro this week. But yeah, congratulations to Ravenwood. You know, they're a program they've been really, really good in soccer for the past few years. And you're right, it looked like Franklin was the clear favorite all the way through the regular season into the district tournament. But they were actually a number 3 seed because of the tiebreaker with Independence. Now it came down to like the 5th criteria, but still making it to Murfreesboro, that's a big deal. Congratulations to Coach Londano and his players. But there's going to be some good teams there too, so it's going to be fun to watch.
So by winning the tournament, Ravenwood hosted Hendersonville coming in and beat them 2-1 to get into the state tournament. Franklin had to travel on the road to Station Camp, where they lost 3-4. The Rebels end their season at 11-3-3. Great season for the Rebs. Still a shock, though, at the fact of them getting beat and not getting in.
Yeah, I would think this is they've got to be the best team sitting at home right now,
No doubt.
At least in AAA soccer.
Well, that moves us to track and field, and we have a few folks going in track and field. We had over 70 athletes. 70 athletes in track and field, Tate, over the A/AA level, which is Page, and the AAA level, which is our Big Six schools. We're going to start at the AA level real quick. 7 student athletes participating at the state track and field, all of them from Page. Colin Lamb participating in the 3,200 2-mile and the 1 mile, and he's going to be in the top 4, top 5 favorite to win those 2 events. Colin, as you know, WILLCO guy, 2 years in a row. He's got the 5th fastest time in the state. Rafe Ariesman, second right now, second longest throw in the discus, going in with a chance to win that. Michael McMahon, number 1 in the 110 hurdles and number 3 in the 300 hurdles. Those 2 of the hardest events in there. He's got a chance to win both.
Yeah, you got to be a tough dude. The 400, the 110, and the 300. You got to be a tough cat
Absolutely.
To do those 3.
So you had your track story. I'm going to tell you mine. We had to have points one night for the team competition. And the guy's like, you can do 300 hurdles. And they started setting them up. Never had run it before. Of course, they're about knee height. I thought, man, there ain't nothing to that.
This will be a breeze.
So I got down the blocks. Gun goes off. Here we go. When I came down the backstretch, I think I ran through the last 3 or 4 remaining hurdles because I could not jump another inch. I'm telling you, I was like, just get me across the line.
Right.
It was brutal. But you
liked to
have
have
got to be a tough cat, like you said, to do that. So best of luck to those guys. Gigi Maddox on the girls' side, pole vaulter right now. She's the number 1 coming in by about 7 to 8 inches. I mean, that's a mile away. I expect her to win that. But the interesting spin on that is Mary Lischner. She was, her and her brother Peter last year won and swept pole vault. And right now, Mary coming in, she's sitting at number 4 spot, 6 inches behind Gigi. So I'd be interested to see how that plays out, that you've got 2 top pole vaulters coming out of Page High School. Gigi as well, also doing the 3,200 and the 1,600. She's a competitor in herself. And the funny thing about it, if you see her, she's such a sweet girl. She's not big as a minute. So to be able to hit that pole, bend it, and get up, you have to have some strength.
Oh yes, no doubt about it. That thing doesn't bend on its own.
Absolutely not. On the AAA, on the girls' side right now, we have 18 total events, Tate, in the TWCAA Spring Fling State Championship Track and Field. We are represented in every event on the girls' side, all 18. We have 30-plus athletes, 3 relay teams. 5 of 6 of the Big Six are represented. So let's just talk about something to talk about. We're just going to talk about the number 1s. Taylor Pickett of Brentwood right now, pole vault favorite to win that. 800-meter man, on both the boys and girls are star-studded events. Haley Hendry, the state runner-up in cross country. From Brentwood, Riley Coggin. From Brentwood, Grace Parsons from Ravenwood. That's going to be an absolute great matchup right there to watch that. And Julia Henderson as well, Ravenwood. They go 1 through 4 as the fastest times in the state.
That's pretty dang impressive.
Girls 4x4 as well. Ravenwood, Centennial, Brentwood right there. All three have an opportunity to win that. On the boys' side, I didn't even mention Amber Tanner in there. Amber Tanner is going to be in so many individual events outside of the pentathlon.
Amber Tanner will place in the top 20 team standing by herself.
By herself. So Ravenwood's going to have an opportunity to win the team competition as well as Brentwood will too. That'll be interesting, man. I hope we go 1-2 in that. That'd be fantastic, as well as the boys. Last year, Brentwood boys won. Girls got runner-up. I hope that we sweep some WCS Sports Conference team. We get both boys and girls. On the AAA on the boys' side, all 6 schools are represented. We have over 22, 23 athletes there. Jack Crouch, Centennial Pole Vault right now, he is winning by, a landslide. If he just goes in and does his normal thing, he will be the favorite and win the pole vault. Nate Johnson, favorite going in long jump and triple jump. This is separate than the decathlon. Decathlon, obviously, when you do the triple jump and long jump, that is for points there, not for the individual standing. On the 3,200 meter, this may be the best race of the entire deal. Brody Hasty, Taylor Vroom, Jackson Vroom, all from Brentwood. Listen to these times, Tate. 9:21. Do I need to remind you of how far 3,200 meters is?
No, I get it.
It's 2 miles.
I know.
9:21, 9:22, 9:23. Any small hiccup at all, Brody Hasty could get beat by with one of his teammates. And you know what? Right now, Brody Hasty, sophomore, number 8 in the country.
It's amazing. That really is. I know that's amazing. And then obviously Taylor and Jackson are brothers. And Brody's an underclassman. I think Jackson's an underclassman. So these guys that's really neat. That's going to be fun to watch. I have to admit, the 32 meters is not my favorite event, but if it works out, I would like to see that.
Actually, the 32 meter probably would be your favorite bet, but this is the 3,200 meters.
Right, so 3,200. That's right. I would like to see that. That would be pretty neat.
Brody Hasty.
Can you imagine if they go 1, 2, 3? That'd be awesome.
They're going to. It's just a matter of who's going to be first, second, third.
I like to see it.
Brody Hasty right now also the favorite to win the 1,600 meter, the mile relay. The mile individual by himself. So you've got the 2 mile, the 1 mile. It's going to be awesome to watch the relay as well. Chris Rowe.
You know where Murray Lane is? The big hill?
Yes.
Okay. The Vrooms live out there. And I see the Vroom boys running up that hill. Now, that's a hill now. And they run that thing like it's a dang sprint. It's amazing. They're machines.
One name we always bring up, Chris Rowland.
Tough dude.
I'm talking about, runner-up in wrestling, state championship running back for Ravenwood. He's going to be in the 400. He's only 2 seconds behind the number 1 spot. Anything can happen. You get a little juices going, man. Somebody trips, whatever happened, you got a chance to win that thing. So Chris Rowland, the 400. So our track and field, it'll be I would dare say that we're going to be one of our teams will be favorite to win it all. But we have so many good athletes across the board in our track and field.
Yeah, and the thing that I'm most impressed with, and we've talked about them, but what's neat is for so long it was Brentwood and Ravenwood that were really good in track. And now you look at what we got going now. Centennial's up their game in track. Independence, Summit, all of them. So that's really neat to see.
On the tennis side of things right now, we've got on the AA level Isaiah Pope. On the boys side of Page, favorite to win it. Got runner-up last year. Hope he pulls that off. We got Michaela May and Sarah Bracken in the doubles for Page in AA. On the AAA level, we ought to win this thing. We've got Brentwood as a team. You've got Summer Henry in the singles, the defending state champion. You've got Katie DeWald, Georgia Fisher, Brentwood as the doubles. Both Brentwood girls and boys teams will be represented. Sam Fisher, Brentwood singles. On the boys side, Stefan Antic and Hayes Canup from Ravenwood in the doubles. I would dare say that there's some gold hardware coming home to the WCS Sports Conference in the tennis.
Yes, quite possibly a lot of it.
So that is our roundup for the Spring Fling. It's vast, it's deep, it's long. We've got a lot of athletes. I can't wait to see how we pull this off. Next week we'll talk about the championships, hopefully many championships that we pulled off individually and as a team. With our remaining amount of time left, let's talk about the WILLCOs. The WILLCOs of this past week are champions. Let's just go down the list there. Let's talk about some of the winners.
Well, it was great. Another great event. Hats off to you. You pulled it off again. You did a good job. It really was. It was really neat. I loved the whole thing. So I don't know, man. You look at the football player of the year, and you look up there. You got Texas A&M. You got University of Michigan. You got Tennessee State University, and you got Murray. And then, obviously you can't go wrong with any of them. Tyrell wins. Here Nate is. And then I knew about Chris and the runner-up in the wrestling. I didn't know he was that good in track. I mean, so you got – and then Michael Magochi, what a great year he had. I mean, I don't know of any other county that would have had those four. Rutherford County, the SEC of high school football.
Right.
I don't know that they have four guys like that up there if you have a football player of the year. I mean, it was really neat. And we talk about it all the time, but I want to say it again. I was outside afterwards and saw Nate and Tyrell together. They're good. And Chris was with them too. They're good young men. They're nice, polite, great smiles. That's what I like the best about it. Well-spoken. It was really neat.
We have high-character kids like you wouldn't believe. They were all very appreciative when they came backstage afterwards, even though maybe they didn't win their category, talking about how cool the event was. So for me, that is so fulfilling because that night is for them. It's not for anybody else. It is for them. And the SEC was represented so greatly.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got Julie Harvey, Franklin going to Georgia. You got Amber Tanner, you've got Tyrell Dotson across the board all the way, and let me give a.
You got Caitlin Hannon going to Tennessee.
Caitlin Hannon, that's right. So let me do this. Maybe we can talk about the champions. We'll run out of time next week, but let's talk about the thank yous. I want to give a shout out. John Robinson, Titans general manager, was in the house as a guest. Him and his wife came on the goodness just to come. Thanks to Matt Harris. The Courage Award. I'm not even going to talk about. We'll get thank yous next. Let's talk about. We've got a minute left. Noah McLaughlin, Summit High School, the Courage Award.
Amazing. I did not know it, and you told me beforehand, and it was. If that didn't tug at your heartstrings, man, you got a problem. You got a real problem.
I know Creed Newton, those guys here at WCTV will be showing this in its full entirety, and you will get to see that. I encourage you heavily to watch that part for sure. The Courage Award winner is just unbelievable. The parents were great, fantastic in the whole process. Noah didn't even know he was there or what he was there for when he came up on stage. We went backstage afterwards to do Anna Glenn Grove. Fantastic. You're going to see her on ESPN, the cheer representative.
I hope she remembers us.
From Franklin. She does the post-winter speeches or whatnot. His post-winter speech had me, Matt Harris, John Mayer, Peter McKay. I mean, just crying like babies. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
So thank you to you. Show wouldn't be there without you, without your cooperation, not only behind the scenes, but what we do here. I mean, we wouldn't be where we were without you. I'm going to stroke you for just a minute on camera.
Thank you.
Adidas, Mathews Team Sports makes that event what it is, and I greatly appreciate it.
And thank you. I appreciate you letting me be a part. And, man, everybody in tuxedos, everybody looks sharp.
Street tuxedo, unbelievable.
Yep.
Well, that brings us to the conclusion of the show. Thank you for joining us. We'll be with you next week, talk about championships. We'll see you next time.